Alright, we've got a warranty call on a system we put in not too long ago. Might be a couple of months old. It is a 20 SEER variable speed and variable capacity heat pump. It's all electric house here. And it was giving a code. Yeah, that's the house right there. I'm gonna turn around and park my right side to the yard. So it was giving a code of 171.00, which is related to blower or blower communication. I looked it up, and the diagnostics say to ohm out the harness, or possibly the variable speed motor could be the problem, the blower motor. And I guess there is going to be some case, now I haven't seen it yet, but there's going to be some case where the AFC control board is the problem. In my opinion, the harness is a little bit of a weak link on this particular TEM8. It's a TEM8. So it's a relatively new product. I was glad to see it come out. I was glad to see a metal-bodied air handler that is communicating in variable speed. But I had to work on one or two of them, so any other new product, they're going to have a few bugs to work out of it. There's a nice little spot of shade right here I can park in too. So it's that house right there, pretty nice house. So I'm going to go in and take a look at the control and go underneath and likely find something going on in the air handler. So let's see what we find. Well, one thing I remember that's pretty nice is here's the entrance to the crawl door. Well, I wish they were all like this. Whoops. Pretty nice work area. There's the air handler right there. So let's get over there and see what's going on. All right. Let's see what's in here right quick. I feel moisture when I open this cap, when I open this door. All right, I see E2.2. And blower comm error, loose or broken harness, motor software failure, check harness and terminals, replace motor. Oh boy. Well, one thing I did do is I didn't come up here empty-handed. I do not have the harness, but I have the motor, I have the board. I keep boards for every air handler and every furnace in the vans at all times. Can't keep all the motors, obviously, but as soon as I had a call up here with that error code, I did bring one. Whoa. Well, I see something right now. Look at this. I don't know if that light. Look on that harness, see all that green crap. I don't know what that is. Looks like corrosion like you get on a daggum plumbing pipe. Get the better light on. Boy, that looks bad. Up in there. And this one, these are fine. Look at those. There's water all in this thing. Look at this. Oh, jeez. There's something going on here. All right, so after finding all this water, when I push down on the insulation, jeez, I'm looking here and I'm thinking, I believe I can guess at what's going on here. I notice this is right discharge, and these air handlers are left discharge from the factory. Well, there's that. So that's put on correct. And the back one is on. And one other critical thing is this little metal clip right there. A lot of times guys will forget to put that on, and it's like a leg. It like stands the back of that pan up and leans it this way. It's not good for them to suck air in a really damp environment. And this environment's not real bad, but that dirt's not dry, but it's not real bad. And this is definitely hooked up correct. So something is bringing water over into the cabinet, as you can see. And I mean a lot. So that's obviously going to have a lot to do with that harness and that plug looking like that terminal. But it's weird how none of the other, even that one, but this one, the communicating one. And I think this has hot and common of DC, you know, about 13.5 or something, 12.5 volts DC, and then I think it has communication as well. I think is what that 4-wire. I'll tell you what though, just looking at this, I think I'm going to change this AFC board. I do believe I do believe that is going to be the Achilles heel right there. I may try to clean these connections up, although that's nearly impossible on that unless you spray it with like contact cleaner or something. I may try to clean these up. Boy, this does not look good for a unit that's been in here such a short period of time. And it looks pretty level. Looks can be deceiving, so let's see what we got. All right, well, homeowner came under here and told me he had to go somewhere. He was going to leave us a way in. I tried pretty much every band of tricks I could to get this thing cleaned up and back to communicating. And I just don't think it's the motor. And looking at these terminals, I wish I had the harness as well. But I'm going to change this AFC board. And that's definitely the right one. Change the personality module, a little personality chip right here that stays on the unit. It's that. And you can see they got it strapped to the unit here. I guess so, you know, it stays there. And looks like three little harnesses. And 6, 7, 8 Phillips head screws. This thing comes right off. Let me cut the better light on. All right. Wonder if the 8-in-1 has a small enough Phillips head on it. Don't look like it. I may have to go up to the truck again. And I don't think the tiny flathead they give you on this is going to do it either. Nope. So, back to the truck again. Alright, so I went and got a little Klein tool that I really like. It's a little thermostat tool, obviously, with a... Might as well go ahead and flip it around. This Phillips I need. It's one of those with the spinning end where you can, you know, hold it against the wall against the thermostat and spin it with one hand like that while you're holding the wire under the terminal. Cool little item, and I really like it. So, I remember though, it's not real magnetic, so there is that. Got a pretty good spot right there to sit these. I knew I'd do that. Dadgummit. There it is. I'll tell you, I'm not real happy to see something going on with a couple of month-old brand new high-end unit. I'm not happy to see that at all. But after these last few days of constantly working on condensate drains, it's almost a welcome relief to do something else for a minute. I noticed after 3, 4, 5 in a row, start to get a couple comments about it. And you know, John Israel is, you know, we subscribe to each other's videos and we watch them, and he doesn't say a lot of comments. He might say a little something every now and then if he feels like he's got something to add, but even he chimed in on that last one and said, you know, you're going to have to change your name to Ted's Condensate Drain Service. And I tell you, he's about right. I'm going to carefully sit that board right there. But like I say, he's about right, because I feel like that has dominated the majority of my time here. All right, so I am going to put this plug back in place first. Then I'm going to get one or two of these screws back in it. And then we're going to make sure the personality module, which is what they called it in the training classes. The FSR called it that. And that sounded like a pretty logical name for it. It's some kind of little chip, memory chip or programming device that allows them to use this same board on several different drives in several different, communication situations. And I'm going to guess that for the most part, that personality module, as we call it, is what is storing the memory of, your settings here, as far as what size tonnage, what airflow capacity, and all that. So basically, it's just a little memory module. Tell you what, I'm going to drop every one of them screws at least once. And they thread in so quick, you've got no place to stick them and let them hang till you get your screwdriver up there. You just about have to have them on the tip of the screwdriver to put them in. So I've always bragged what great equipment this is, how easy it is to work on. And here I am working on a couple of month old unit. I got to tell you, I got to get to the bottom of this water situation. That's not Trane's fault. There's some reason for this water being in here. I don't know what it is. I'm going to have to examine this pan a little closer. All these fittings. All the quick telltale things that the right discharge setup ends up lacking sometimes have already been eliminated. So I was looking for something really quick to blame on the installers and didn't find it. So we're going to look till we find it. And I'll tell you what, you guys may think you're seeing history in the making if you watch me blaming Trane for something, because that just doesn't happen very often. I blamed them for the TEM air handler door warping situation that happened when they first came out. Lord, that's been 10, 12 years ago, but those plastic air handlers, as everybody calls them, some of you may have seen in one of my videos, they're actually not plastic. They're actually just coated. So that's why they call them composite. But they do have a metal frame, a metal cabinet, and it's coated in plastic. But that was something they didn't tell us in the classes, and I go to take my hole saw to drill in the side of one to mount some electrical wires, and as soon as I get through the plastic coating, metal shavings start going everywhere. And I see silver everywhere, and I pull my hole saw out, and I said, man, this thing is metal. So I can't say that I hated to see that, but I'll tell you, they straightened that product out. So I did blame the manufacturer for some shortcomings on that. And they fixed the doors from warping, and it was causing the door switch would be mounted, and the door would warp, and it would let off the door switches, a little double set. And it would cause, a service call and a failure over a simple little nothing. And so I wasn't a big fan of that. And there's been a couple other things over the years that, that I've sent them up the flagpole, and most of them they straightened out, and some of them they ignored and just changed the product not long down the road. But I've come to find out that in almost every case, my opinion is going to stay the same. They are the best product manufactured for residential HVAC, and by far the best commercially as well, although I'm not a huge commercial guy. We're fixing to do a couple of commercial jobs for the city where I'm at, so I'll get some footage on those. I think we're fixing to. I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but our bids look pretty good on them, they said. All right, and I did clean this up what I could, and I got those little leads, you know, the small leads that you have to read a lot of this communicating stuff, the little needle leads. And I poked in and out of that a good bit and ohmed it out with this end of it, and just made sure each color, just with the dummy beep. Homeowner was down here, so I did not have the video going at the time. He came in here and talked to me for a few minutes. And I wish I had some contact spray or something. You know, I'm tempted to go out there and cut that terminal, cut that plug off of the little display on the outside unit. You know, you can cut that and just wire nut these together, even though one of them's communicating. I'm not crazy about that kind of connection, but these sure look pretty vulnerable as they are out here. But I know you don't have to have that CDA or whatever that display is on the outside unit. It's only for, you know, reading the stored errors and stuff. You don't really have to have that display. But we'll find out what's going to go on here. So that's just bothering me. As you can see, I'm avoiding plugging that in at the last second, but gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to try it. Okay, everything is back in place. It's mounted well. Before I put the cover on it, I'm gonna plug it back in and see what happens, make sure it communicates. And I may not go inside and turn it on, for there's a test pin right here. And you can use this test pin, but this metal cover covers that up. Boy, I gotta get the water off of it before I do. So anyway, let's put the power back to it and see if we still got our communication error or what happens. All right. All I see, there we go. It's that flashing green. I was waiting on my display here. It flashed one time. And I guess this new board has to sort of load up, so to speak. And this personality module should be achieving that. And looks like I was right to try that first, because the error E2.2 is now gone. And yep. So it looks like we're good to go. I tell you, I'm always nervous sticking this back on with it powered up, but I don't like powering these up and down, up and down, up and down. I just don't like doing it. A little bit of water on the outside of that when I was squeezing it out of all that. All right. So before I go inside and turn this thing back on, make sure everything's okay. I'll look at a couple things here. Number one is these low voltage wires really do not need to come in the top. They need to come in the bottom here, because that's what you can see. That here's all the band of wires. They're designed to be in here in this cavity, but them being right here, a little bit pinched right there. And I guess, you know, that's just not, I don't like that. Okay, I know we got enough slack on that one because it comes from that way. And this one does not. That one comes from the thermostat. It does not have any room. So what concerns me is how all this water is getting into this machine outside of the pan. And I have looked at everything, the drip shields that run down the U-bends and then run it down into the pan back there. Both of those are in place, and most people will say all you're doing actually is flipping the pan to the other side, and that's not true. You have to change both of those because they're up on the what now is the top side of this A, and they have to be moved to the bottom, but the installers did do that. They did get the little lift, leg lift thing in the back there up in place, so it's got the back of the pan. Yeah, you can definitely feel it up off the insulation. That leans it down this way. So I'm about out of anything to do besides put a level on it. I'm going to tell you, it looks pretty good. But I am going to go get my level before we leave. So let's see. I just don't see anything with the conversion that would be doing this to us. Now, I do see that the error code is gone, which tells me we are probably going to be okay. But I tell you, I just don't like the looks of that inside there. I need to look this thing up to see exactly when it is, but pretty sure it's 1 month or 2 months old. So let's go inside and fire this bad boy up. All right. It's about as good of a crawl space, if that's what you want to call it, you're going to get. Looks like he's got a pretty nice backyard. I don't know what those things along the back, if those are banana trees. That's what they look like. Or palm tree, you know, I don't know what those are. I'm showing my lack of culture. But I know it really looks nice out here. I think I could stand to live like this. And that's a neat little tree right there. I don't know if that's a Japanese maple or what that is. I see the red ones that are like that. So anyway, let's go look at the control and see if the error's gone from there and clear it off and get this thing started back up. There's our 20 seer that we faced towards the pool. There's his 16 seer that was already there. Let's go in here and see what we got. All right, let's go in here to the control. And here we go. See if our error is gone. Yep, gone. So, system idle, 71 and 71. Let's drop her down a few degrees. See if it comes back on, and in the meantime, let's go check the level on that unit. Now, there we go. She switched to cooling. Compressor speed coming up. So let's go see if my eyeballs are fooling us and the level on that outside, on that air handler under there is way off, and I can't tell. And I tell you what, you look at that right there on that house. Now that's why I flush line sets right there. I would not be the one that did that unless I absolutely had to. Look at that thing going upside of that house. I would not do that. Well, there you have it. That's the reason we flush. And our 20 seer unit is up and running. Now, let's go see what the level on that air handler looks like underneath. Tell you what, man, I really like this house. It's pretty nice. All right. I know a lot of you guys are gonna say, that level ain't big enough. You need a 2-foot. Need a 4-foot, whatever. And I agree, a bigger one would be better, as long as you know where to put it. This is okay. So let's go in the house and double check everything's okay. Still a little bit puzzled on the water. Yep, she's ramped up and quiet now. All right, it's coming down. Starting to run at a little bit lower compressor speed. I've raised it to 69. It's only 79 outside. And so it sees no reason to ramp up. It's at 59% right now. So, looks like we got another one resolved. And it's a really nice house here. I like the pool. I like the piano. But it is time to move on. Got one more to go to. So let's get going. Thanks for watching.